Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Darth Raz, and today I'll be showing you my favorite officer build that I mentioned in my ATSD video. If you missed that video, a link should pop up now on screen to check it out, as this build goes perfectly with the method I explained in that guide. This build is by far the best way to be the first person to get a hero in Galactic Assault. If this guide helps you out at all, smash that like button and subscribe, as I have a ton more content on the way showing you how to dominate the battlefront. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get to the point. First, let's discuss the officer class's abilities, and then we'll go over what makes the officer's point system absolutely broken. The first ability is pretty straightforward, a flash grenade. However, this works unlike flash grenades in any other game like Call of Duty or Battlefield. When you throw this grenade, you actually get to choose when to detonate it by pressing the same button that you used to throw it. This can be in mid-air or after it's hit the ground. As the flash bursts, it will split into several smaller charges that spread and explode, blinding more enemies over a larger area. If you detonate the charge in mid-air, this spread effect will be increased. What really makes this grenade different is the fact it also deals damage, and slows your opponent's movement by not allowing them to run. So if you deal damage to someone and they hide behind cover, you can finish them off with this and potentially blind his teammates in the process. Also, it's great for planting in front of doors, and when enemies run through, you can set it off, giving you the upper hand. Our second ability is the battle command. For our build, we will be using the star card that upgrades this ability, but I'll get back to that in just a moment. The battle command simply gives a buff to the teammates within its range, increasing their health by 100. You can see how many teammates will be affected by the number displayed over the ability. There are 3 key times to use this ability, but the third I'll get back to when I go through the star cards I'm using in this build. First, you'll want to use this ability as soon as the match starts. Although you won't be facing any enemies at that point, the battle command gives you 25 battle points for each teammate buff. Since everyone is grouped close together as the match starts, you can usually hit about 10 to 15 people, netting you around 300 battle points. By the time you make it far enough to actually face any enemies, this ability is usually recharged, so don't miss out on these initial battle points. Second, you'll want to use this if you are around a lot of teammates that are having a tough time pushing through a choke point. This will really encourage them to push the objective, and give your team an upper hand in a firefight by increasing their survivability. Be aware that the buff only lasts a short period, so use it wisely. The officer's last ability is the blaster turret. This is an automated turret that will fire at infantry or vehicles, but it's most effective on infantry. It does take a moment to lock onto its target, however it has a pretty far radius. Some great places to set it up are open areas, covering your left or right flank, or at the end of a long hallway enemies are trying to rush. If you use it to cover your flank, it will make a beeping noise and the turret ability icon will show a target reticle, so you will know if an enemy is coming. If you are in a one-on-one fight, you can set down the turret, get behind cover to activate battle command, and flank the enemy while they are focused on your turret. Also, if you lay it down in a choke point or somewhere there are lots of enemies, you can repress the turret ability to detonate it, dealing 125 damage to everyone in its radius. If the enemy blows it up, it only does 25 damage to those in its radius. When setting down the turret, be mindful that it takes a moment to spawn, so if you're setting it down where there is heavy fire, press the button right before you pop out of cover so that by the time you are in position, it will spawn, lessening your chances of being mowed down. All in all, the turret can be a very useful support tool if placed in a good location, and kills you get with it count as yours, not assist. Now that we've discussed the abilities, let's go over what makes the build the best and quickest way to get a hero first. Star cards. Our first card is the improved battle command. This card reduces the recharge time of the battle command, provides an increased radius of 16 meters at the epic tier, and also provides a buff to yourself in addition to allies. Getting back to what I mentioned earlier, the third key time to use your battle command is during a firefight where you take some damage. You can hide behind cover and give yourself a buff thanks to this star card. Also, because of the increased radius, you'll get even more of a head start on battle points at the beginning of the match when you buff your whole team. Our second star card is Officer's Presence. This card is the most vital card in getting a hero the fastest. Simply put, it reduces the time it takes for nearby allies to start their health regen at a maximum of 40% on the epic tier. Because the officer class is more of a support character, and you should always be close to teammates, this card goes hand in hand with its playstyle. You may be asking, what does this have to do with getting a hero? Well, by using this card, you will be constantly getting battle points every time you're next to a teammate and they have taken damage. It will also stack the more allies that you have around you. Plus, because you will have more teammates surviving with you due to faster regen, you will have strength in numbers and be more likely to survive in a firefight. This card is crucial in the build, so be sure to upgrade it as soon as possible. For our last card, it's a no-brainer. We'll be using Bounty Hunter, which increases the amount of battle points you get by up to 20% on the epic tier. Combining this with the last two cards and all the tools the officer has at their disposal, you should have no problem being the first to grab a hero in a match. The last thing I want to touch on is the blaster I use for this build, and this will be up for debate. Personally, I use the Blurg with the reduced recoil and improved burst attachments. I find this weapon to be amazing at closer ranges and is tough to beat due to the one-shot potential. If you can slightly and controllably aim downward as you are firing, all of your shots will land in the same spot instead of recoiling upwards. If you can land the 4 shots on the head, it will almost one-shot any infantry class. However, I know there are a lot of you out there that like the SE-44C with rapid fire better, as it has a little more range. Let me know your favorite blaster for the officer in the comments, and also if you'd like to see me make a comparison video between the two guns. So to sum it up, this build is the most broken point system I found to quickly get battle points. Make sure you are sticking with your teammates, picking off enemies, using your battle command wisely, setting up your turret in good locations, and you will have no issues getting enough battle points for your favorite heroes. Also, let me know in the comments what class build you would like to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and may the force be with you.
Grenade out.
Fuel station is back online. Slow them to a crawl. Make them overcautious.
Rebels attacking extruder room. System compromised.
The rebels overreached. Their force is broken and will escape Endor to find revenge.